Hello students, in this part we are going to talk about the chapter physical world. What is physical world if we talk about? So physical means something material or fleshy or living that we can touch or feel, that is physical. And what is world? World is defined as that in which we live. So here in this chapter we will talk about that why the sun appears red, why it appears sky appear blue, and all such phenomena. This is because of science. So what is science? Science is derived from the Latin word called scientia, which means to know or knowledge. So science is defined as it is an organized and systematic and formulated knowledge obtained through observation is called science. Science is defined as two ways: natural science and physical science. Natural science deals with the living things, and the physical sciences are concerned with the property and the behavior of non living things. Here, the physics, if we talk about, so the physics is derived from the word physis, which is in Greek, means nature. So, the branch of science which deals with the study of nature and its physical phenomena is called physics. Okay, now we will see here that is scientific method. Scientific method come into picture by the scientific attitude. First thing is systematic observation. The Newton has systematically observed why the apple has fallen down. After that, controlled experiment. The experiment he has done, then only he has able to give the gravitational law. Qualitative and quantitative means not only the theory but also the support of those theory. We need a data and a proof to fulfill that theory. Mathematical modeling, as he has given f is equals to m1 m2 upon r square, and the verification and the falsification, whether it can be true or false. Physics has the two scope, microscopic and macroscopic domain. Macroscopic domain, if we talk about, in which we are going to deal with the larger bodies like galaxy and the universe, like that. And microscopic, when we will talk about the nucleus is in a small scale or in a small portion, we will talk about microscopic phenomena. You can see here, if we are using in mechanics, electrodynamics, optics and thermodynamics. In mechanics we will talk about the force, angles and force of contact. Electrodynamics, electricity and magnet. Optics related to light, and thermodynamics, heat. Microscopic domain, we will talk about the molecular theory and the atomic theory. And what is the nuclear? All these atoms, protons, neutrons, electrons, these all studies of this is called the microscopic domain. Now if we see that sometimes the technology gives rise to physics and sometimes physics gives rise to technology. If we see, the silicon chip gives the rise to computer, right? We have first find out the silicon chip, then we have designed the computer. On the other hand, steam engine is designed first, then only the law of thermodynamics come into picture. So sometimes technology gives rise to physics and sometimes physics gives rise to technology. Here are some famous physicists, those who have contributed in their best in their force. Force is a push or pull that can cause any object to change its velocity or shape. We already know what is force. If we are applying a force on anything, if you apply a force on a chair, then only it will be get displaced, otherwise it will not get displaced. If we talk about forces mainly there are two types of forces: fundamental forces and the drive forces. What is fundamental forces? Fundamental forces are those forces which is naturally existing in the earth, okay, such as gravitational force, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force. What is drive force? Drive forces are those forces which are derived from the with the help or from the fundamental forces, that is called the drive forces. If we see, in fundamental forces also, in a microscopic world, okay, we observe several kinds of forces like muscular force, contact force and supports and friction and so many forces, right? So from the macroscopic objects there are two fundamental forces which is arise, that is gravitational force and electromagnetic force, okay. And in the microscopic world, if we talk about the two more basic forces to require to account, that is strong nuclear force and weak nuclear force. These four forces are fundamental forces of nature. So now we are going to start with the gravitational force. What you understand by this word gravitational force? It is a force of mutual attraction between two bodies by virtue of their masses. What it is means, gravitational force is the force which is acting between the two masses or two objects' masses, and it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Because of the gravitational force, we have seen that the planets are there in the universe, and that's why they are orbiting in their or revolving in their orbits. And if we talk about moon, if the gravitational force is not there, the moon will sweep away. Now we are talking about some properties of gravitational force. It is a universal attractive force. Gravitational force is an attractive force. It is directly proportional to the product of two masses of their bodies. It obeys inverse square law, and it is a long range force, right? Because it is acting between the heavenly bodies and from the earth and from any other object on the earth. All these places we have seen that the long range force it is. Okay. Second, gravitational force between two bodies does not depend upon the presence of any other body. Okay, means if there is a body which is present and another body is there, there will be a gravitational force which is existing there. It is the weakest force in the nature. Okay, this is the force which is weakest in nature, and as the distance is increasing, the force is decreasing. It is a central force because it is acting at the line joining between the two masses or two bodies. Okay, it is a conservative force. Okay, means what? Conservative force means it is path independent force. It is doesn't depend on the path, कहाँ से आ रहा है कहाँ से जा रहा है, doesn't depend on it. It depends, or it is independent of path, means only the two points where the force is existing, it is consist with that only. Now, gravitational force between two bodies is thought to be caused by the exchange of particle called gravitine. It is the exchange between the gravitational forces taken place with the help of gravitine. Okay. Example, if we see, that is, the gravitational force governs the motion of the moon and the artificial satellites around the sun. Okay, and the motion of the planets around the sun. Now, this is what we have talked about the gravitational force. Similarly, we have another force which we call the electromagnetic force. What is this electromagnetic force is? The force which is acting between two electric charges at rest is called electrostatic force. Okay? Now, here if we talk about what is electromagnetic force, so the force acting between two magnetic poles is called magnetic force. So, electromagnetic force is because of the electric force also and magnetic force also. So, what is this electromagnetic force? Basically, it is a force which is acting between the two charges, right? And why it is acting between the two charges? Because their moving charges are possessing electricity as well as the magnetism. So thus we can define as the electrostatic and the magnetic forces are inseparable, right? And they are considered by the two facts, and this is known as electromagnetic forces because these forces are inseparable. So we can define electromagnetic force as the force, it is defined as the force which is directly proportional to the product of two charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Now we are going to talk about that what are some properties of the electromagnetic forces. So electromagnetic forces can be attractive or repulsive because like charges are repelling and unlike charges are attracting. So it is having attractive and repulsive both type of a nature. It obeys inverse square law. Okay, another thing, it's a long range force because it is existing in the earth or in the earth's atmosphere, or we can say in the universe, right? It is a long range force, does not require any intervening medium, does not need anything. Okay, it is a central force. Again, it is acting between the line joining, okay, between the two charges. It is a conservative force. Again, it is path independent force. It does not depend on the path. Okay, this force is 36 10 to the power 36 times stronger than the gravitational force. Okay, it is the strongest force. On the other hand, the gravitational force is the weakest force, and it is 10 to the power 36 times stronger than the gravitational force. Here the exchange is taken place between the two charged particles with the help of photons. Okay, now the next force come strong nuclear force. As the name given, nuclear force, obviously it gives a sense that it is acting in the nucleus. Okay, in nucleus, if we see, we have a neutron or proton. So we can say the strong attractive force which binds together proton and neutron in a nucleus is called a strong nuclear force. So it is a short range force because it is acting in the nucleus of an atom, right? It is the strongest interaction known in the nature, which is about 10 to the power 38 times stronger than the gravitational force. Gravitational force is 38, 10 to the power 38 times stronger hai. Okay, and this force is a short range force because it is acting in a nucleus only, and that is around 10 to the power minus 15 meter. It is basically an attractive force. Okay, but becomes repulsive when the distance between the nucleons become less than 0.5 Fermi. When the distance is getting increased, that time it turns to be repulsive. Okay, third, it is a non-central and non-conservative force. Means what? It is does not depend on the line of action, right? That's why it is called as non-central force. And it is non-conservative. It means it is dependent on the path of the force, not on the points, but on the path of the source. That's why it is non-conservative and non-central force. Next point is the exchange particle is called here pi meson. What we call pi meson. Okay. So these are the examples, or this is what we have talked about the strong nuclear force. So basically nuclear force bind together the proton and the neutron in the nuclei, which is responsible for the stability of the atom, right? It is also used in the radioactive activity occur in the heavier nuclei because of the insufficient nuclear force between their protons and neutrons. Okay, and the concept of nuclear force is useful in obtaining the nuclear energy by fission and fusion. Okay, now we will talk about the weak nuclear force. What is this weak nuclear force? As the name given, the force which is weak. Okay, it is a force that appears only between elementary particles involved in a nuclear process, such as beta decay of a nucleus. Now, what is this beta decay and why it is so? Basically, we talk about weak nuclear force is such force when the heavy nucleus does not able to carry its own mass, its own atomic weight, I can say. That time it its own weight is making it unstable. So what it has to do, it has to get break down. So the force which is helping the nucleus, okay, which is helping the nucleus to get split or to get break, that force is called your weak nuclear force. Okay, here if we talk about this, is here the transmit of the between the elementary particles is taking place with the massive vector bosons. Okay, we called it bosons. It is also operate in a nuclear size range only, that is 10 to the power minus 15. Weak nuclear force is 10 to the power 25 times stronger than the gravitational interaction. Means it is greater than the gravitational force. Okay, now here if we talk about any process involving neutrino and antineutrino is governed by weak nuclear force, because these particles can experience only weak interaction and not the strong interactions. Okay, If we talk about in this weak nuclear force, here I have talked about neutrino. What is neutrino? Neutrino is basically an uncharged particle, okay, in the beta decay. Basically, this weak nuclear force is come into picture in a radioactive decay, where we have seen the alpha decay, beta decay, and gamma decay. This we are going to discuss in detail in your further classes. But for now, all these things you have to understand what is these forces and how it is useful for us. Okay. Now we will talk about the conservation laws. Okay, so as the name given, conservation means something to protect, something to reserve. That is gives the sense of conservation. Any physical process involving different forces, some physical quantities that remains unaffected or unchanged with time, such quantities are called conserved quantities. Okay, here if we talk about conservation laws, so what is conservation laws? There basically in classical physics we are going to deal with four conservation laws. First is the law of conservation of energy, law of conservation of linear momentum, law of conservation of angular momentum, and law of conservation of charge. So first we are going to talk about, that is the law of conservation of energy. What it states that the energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another. Okay, how we can understand this? You have seen during the oscillation of the simple pendulum. Okay, when we give the energy of the bob, that changes gradually from its kinetic to potential as it moves from its mean position to its either extreme position. So here we can see that the energy changes from potential to kinetic as the bob moves from either extreme position. It means that all the points of the motion, the total energy of the bobs remains constant. This is your law of conservation of energy. Now the next is law of conservation of linear momentum. What is this? Here it states that if no external force acts on the system, then the linear momentum remains constant. Now, no external force act in the system. What does it mean? It means that if we have a system, or if we are taking or doing any process in an isolated system. What is isolated system? Where we can say no external force, nothing is going to be interfere in that system, is called an isolated system. Okay, so here they are saying that if no external force acting on it, then what will happen? That the momentum of the system remains unchanged. Example, when we have a rifle or a bullet in it. Okay, when the rifle, we fire from the rifle, what will happen? Before firing, both bullet and rifle are at rest because they are not moving anywhere, so their initial momentum of the system is zero. As soon as we have fired the bullet, what happens? The bullet move in the forward direction with the larger velocity, and in order to conserve the movement, the same, because of the movement of the bullet, the rifle also experiencing the force in the backward direction. Okay, so that means the momentum of the system is zero. Clear? Now next is your law of conservation of angular momentum. What it is? It is associated with the angular, means the rotation, right? So what it states that? It states that if no external torque acts on a system, then the angular momentum remains constant. Okay, what it does it mean? Torque you already know. What is torque? That is, we can say a force which is force into perpendicular distance, means a force which causes a motion or to rotate something. So when there is no torque is acting in the system, that time the angular momentum of the system remains conserved. Okay, example if we talk about, that is, while in the elliptical orbit, when the planets are approaches the sun, its movement and inertia about the sun decreases, right, to conserve the angular momentum and its angular speed. Okay, so what it is, basically we will talk about here, we are talking about its angular momentum. Angular momentum formula is what? Moment of inertia into angular speed. Last we are talking about law of conservation of charge. This law states that the total charge of an isolated system remains constant. Okay, means a charge can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another. If we talk about when we have a charge on, if suppose we have a one charge body, okay, we have a one charge body. Suppose you have a scale, you rub the scale on your oily scalp, that time you have give the charge to the scale. So now the charge have scale have some charge, and when you brought that charge or that charge scale near to the paper, you have seen that the paper stick to it. So this is basically a law of conservation of charge. So it cannot be neither be created nor destroyed, okay, but it can be conserved in an isolated system. Okay, thank you.